Through every note, every performance, the arts connect us. The arts connect us through joy and through awe, bridging cultures and generations. From intimate theaters to the grandest stages, the arts bring us together, reminding us that we're never truly alone. When we experience the arts, we experience each other. Kentucky Performing Arts. The arts connect us.
Respectful to her classmates and teachers. She's a student that you can count on to help you and other students whenever needed. Kate uses her voice to advocate for herself and for her peers. She makes us very proud. Kate, we are also proud of you in District 12, and we're grateful that you are here with us tonight. Kate comes from a fantastic family, and I'm honored to have Kate as a page tonight.
Councilman Batchon, I believe you got a special guest.
Yes, thank you. Hey, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to ask a few folks to step up here real quick. Rob and family, please. All right, so bear with me here. This Saturday will mark 8 years of Officer Rodman's sacrifice of his life protecting the city of Louisville. It is with great heartful gratitude and profound respect that I stand here today, not only to celebrate Officer Rodman's courage and selflessness, but also recognize the values instilled in him. Nick's life reflects the strong foundation built by his parents, Linda and George Rodman. Individuals who exemplified integrity and dedication. Linda and George taught Nick and his siblings the most important of always doing the right thing, even when it's not an easy thing. George, a retired LMPD officer, not only served his community, but served as an inspiration for both of his sons as they followed his footsteps. Nick's brother Andrew beautifully captured these values, saying, "He taught me that the little things in life are just not little, little things. He taught me to be steadfast in my actions, but humble in my words. But most importantly, he taught me to always do the right thing, especially when it's not an easy thing." The values of the Rodman family continue to shine through Nick's widow, Ashley, and their children, Mason and Ellie, who Mason nearly took Ashley's arm off yesterday throwing ball with her. And I watched Ellie at track, and she is lightning fast, and it's no joke. Mason, a talented fourth grader, scholar athlete, is already showcasing his determination and drive that made his father proud. Ellie is an exceptional track star whose speed has everybody dreaming of her being in the Olympics already. Carries forward the energy and the spirit that defined her dad. Ashley, your resilience and dedication inspire us all. Through the Nick Rodman Legacy Foundation, you have touched lives and carried forward the torch of service and community. We would also like to honor you today. It is my privilege to present you with the Serve Award, recognizing not only your contributions, but also the way your family continues to embody the values Nick lived here by every day. Ashley, in your own words, remind us what this park will symbolize. Nick was profound. To be from the south end of Louisville, having this park named after him means so much to our family. Nick is so missed every day. We carry the love we have for Nick and the grief losing him every day. The love and support from Louisville community naming the park in honor of Nick helps our grieving hearts heal a little more and shows that his sacrifice is never forgotten. It means everything to us. So real quick, I'm gonna hand you this award and this proclamation, and then I'll get some cash.
So I'm gonna step over here.
So actually, this is the serve award that my district is doing for people who exemplify the values of the South End. And the proclamation that we give you from the Louisville Metro Council. Today, we send a message that Nick's sacrifice will never be forgotten, and that our community stands behind law enforcement. Windsor Park will now be known as the Nick Rodman Legacy Park. It will serve as a lasting tribute to Nick's life and his love for the South End of Louisville, a community proudly called home. It will also serve as a space that honors not just Nick, but all those who serve and sacrifice for our communities. It will inspire future generations to live with courage, humility, steadfast dedication to do what is right. On behalf of District 25 and the South End of Louisville, we honor you, Ashley, Mason, Ellie, Linda, George, and the entire Rodman family. Thank you for allowing us the privilege of celebrating Nick's legacy, preserving his memory, and carrying forward the values he has so cherished. May we all be inspired by his life and his family's unwavering strength and commitment. I thank you all. Thank you.
Councilwoman Chapel and Rudy, I believe you've got special guests.
Hello, everyone. Before I get to honoring Pastor Fields, I want to take a moment to just honor Councilor Ruby. And if you all don't know, the Streetery was offering a white flag shelter in the most recent cold snap that we saw. And when it was shut down, Councilor Ruby really jumped into action in finding a place to move that. She was instrumental in the day-to-day. I think I went every day, but I know that she was there a lot more than I was, working with Coalition for the Homeless when the water heater went out to get that back online. And I think probably record timing for a water heater repair. One morning I brought over donuts and I walked in and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Councilor Ruby, but you could tell that you hadn't slept the night before. And just to see that kind of selflessness, I do want to say that because I know a lot of times it's the work that we do that's outside of this chambers that's most meaningful. And I just want to give her credit for all of her work in making that shelter possible, but not only just saying, I'm going to set it up, but I'm going to help you run it. And I think that that's really important to point out. And like I said, we do things whether it's police ride-alongs, overnights at the shelter, or homeless counts. We're out there day in and day out, and I just want to give her her flowers while I have the microphone. But we're here today to honor. So right here we have Pastor Pastor James Fields. And when I took office, I didn't inherit a lot from, I'm gonna say this endearingly to my friend Kevin Triplett, I didn't inherit a lot from his office. And, but one of those documents was actually a report about the Jacobs neighborhood, a neighborhood report. And I said, this is actually really great, who did this? Turns out it was this guy. So he not only moved his church into that community, but he made it a point to get to know the community and become a part of it. Pastor Fields has been wonderful every time that I have something in my district that I need, whether it was our Hispanic Town Hall all the way to our annual Derby Our Way event, which we're going to be having again this year on Monday, April 12th. Check social media. 16, 14. Monday, April 14. Yeah, subscribe to our newsletters. So he's just been wonderful every single time that we need a space and opening his doors, and that's exactly what he did when we asked him if we could have a space for the shelter. And it was incredible. The first night, I think there were maybe 4 individuals that came into the shelter, and the last night, I think that there were 26 individuals. And so this shelter ran just a few days, and it's incredible to see that need, but also the safe space that somebody had created for that community. I recall one gentleman who said, it was wonderful to have a place where I left my phone on my cot and I came back and it was still there. So having safe spaces that we can provide to people with dignity is so important. And so that's why we're honoring him today with a proclamation, and I'll go ahead and read it. To all whom these letters shall come, greetings. Know ye, the Louisville Metro Legislative Council hereby honor citizen James Fields in the opening of Sojourn Church Carlisle as an emergency shelter during severe winter weather conditions. Whereas Louisville experienced the highest amount of snowfall in one day since 1998 on January 5th, 2025, accompanied by extremely low temperatures. And whereas other emergency shelters faced closure, leaving unhoused individuals without shelter during these extreme weather conditions, and whereas, seeing the need, Pastor Fields, with the support and guidance of his church, codes and regulations, and various other community partners, which I know that we have here with us today, opened Sojourn Carlisle as an emergency shelter to provide safe and warm refuge. Now therefore be it resolved that the Louisville Metro Council hereby honors James Fields in the use of Sojourn Church Carlisle as an emergency shelter during a time of great need. We hereby confirm this recognition with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. And this is going over to you, Pastor Fields. So I'm going to say thank you, and I will give a plug. He's already gone through the process to make sure that he has an application in. So the next time this happens, they're ready to just open their doors. So you won't have to go through the red tape. And so we'd love to see that proactivity. And I'll hand it over to maybe Counselor Rui, and then we'll have Pastor James say a few words.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to thank Pastor Fields for stepping up on very short notice. I think we went from, oh my goodness, it got shut down, to we have something open in 6 hours. So I was thrilled to have him step up and to help find the resources to make the shelter actually happen. And thank you, Pastor Fields. I know it meant a lot to those folks who spent the night there. I was just touched by spending time with them and seeing people come in out of the cold, and the sense of community that they had to protect each other, and how people would come in the middle of the night and just get food from their friends who didn't feel safe coming in and leaving their possessions out. So thank you so much for that opportunity, and I'm glad to hear that you're working on getting set up with a proper permit, so it'll be a whole lot easier next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Would you like to say something?
Yeah. Thank you for this recognition. I really am grateful to God, and I'm very grateful to be able to be a part of the South End of Louisville, in my opinion, the best part of Louisville. And our church, Sojourn Carlisle, exists to advance the gospel of South Louisville and beyond. So we take it serious where God has planted us, and we're really grateful. I have 2 colleagues here with me. So Sam Carroll is one of our upcoming deacons, and he was instrumental in helping us. So I really appreciate Sam, and then our associate pastor, Nick Wyrens, was very instrumental as well. And my son, Luke, who's here, he was wondering if any judges were going to be here. I don't know if there's any judges, but if there are, wave at them, please. But we're grateful to be here and thankful for this proclamation. Thank you.
Councilman Joseph and Councilwoman Parrish Wright, we do have a special guest tonight.
All right, well, first I'd like to invite Cesar Garcia up here for a minute with me. When I am not the councilman of District 12, I am the teacher, I'm a teacher at Butler Traditional High School, and fortunate enough to be a advisor for the KY and Kuna organization at Butler. I know we've got some white kids or white staff on Metro Council, right? Is there anybody who's had, we've had a few, I thought, okay? So we had a few of those that have been impacted white. Doing this for 10 years, the Y Club is all about mock government, and KYA is all about state government and passing bills and running for office. And then for Kuna, we have like a mock United Nations per se, where everyone picks it, where every school picks a country. And then those that are feeling froggy enough run for office in front of 1,200 plus of their peers and get up on stage. And I'm fortunate enough to get to work with this guy as his teacher, but also KY and Kuna, and seeing Cesar Garcia go from the guy in the hallway who was contemplating months ago, should I get involved, should I run for this position, to the guy who won a conference in front of 1,200 students. Just so honored and so proud of the work that he has done. You know, I'm also fortunate to teach freshman civics and then juniors and seniors dual credit government. So seeing the growth over the years, certainly so proud of Cesar. So I will read the proclamation. To all whom these letters shall come, greetings, know ye that the Louisville Metro Council hereby honors and recognizes Cesar Garcia. Whereas Cesar has represented himself, Butler Traditional High School, and his District 3 community in exemplary fashion at the 2025 Kuna High School 2 Conference. And whereas students from across Kentucky gathered to stimulate international diplomacy, build critical thinking skills, experience cultures from around the world, and engage in global issues. And whereas Mr. Garcia was elected by his peers to the office of Secretary General, the top position of the United Nations for the 2026 Kuna 2 Conference, the highest position available to participants. And whereas he is the first student at Butler Traditional High School to receive this honor, and now therefore in recognition of their outstanding contributions, we hereby confer the honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining in testimony whereof we have caused these letters to be made and the seal of the Louisville Metro government to be hereunto affixed. And Cesar, while he gave 2 riveting speeches, his slogan was, "I wouldn't want to be you if you didn't vote Garcia." You know, and 1,200 people, that's more than I think a lot of us can say that we've stood in front of. And so I think the world of them. And Councilwoman Parrish Wright, know that Butler is within your district, and also Cesar lives in your district, and I'll give you the floor to speak.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. I am excited to be a part of this, and I really appreciate you, Cesar. You are why I do this work. And Mr. Garcia, I'm up here in DC. I apologize for not being there, but navigating our country from the federal level is important too. And I would love to see someone like you run for office, and slogans matter. And I wouldn't want to be anybody that's running against you. I appreciate this opportunity to welcome you, and this is why we do the work. Critical thinking, civics is the reason why I'm here, and I'm honored to have someone like you that is willing to take it a step further. Please keep going, we need you. We deserve better, we get there together as mine, but I want to see you keep going. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for this recognition. Thank you for Mr. Councilman Joseph, my family, and also my late father. That's who I wrote my speeches around, also my family. He is the person who really, I think, pushed me to get involved in he was like an inspiration for me to get involved in like mock government since he was involved in the city. He has a business here in Louisville, in Lulu. It's a restaurant called Los Aztecas. And seeing, like growing up, seeing him like operate the business and how involved he was in the city, I sort of got a view of the city and how he had an impact, because he knew like the mayor, he knew a lot of influential people around the city, and I sort of got inspired by that I really wanted to, you know, make a change or do anything I could to do some sort of impact. And I got a knack for this KYN Kuma thing, and I decided to run. Like Mr. Councilman Joseph said, I really didn't plan on running at first. I wasn't confident in myself, but I persevered. I gained the confidence and managed to get the top position. So I'm really grateful to have that opportunity, and I'm really grateful for the support system that I have around me. So yeah, that's about it.
Madam Clerk, are there any addresses to council?
Yes, sir, there are.
Let me remind those addressing the council to please refrain from the use of profanity or making derogatory statements towards council people. Madam, will you call for speaker?
Alex Deeds.
Members of the Metro Council, my name is Alex. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a teacher. I am a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. I was born here in Louisville. I went to school here, and I plan on raising my kids here. And like a lot of the people in the city of Louisville, we want it to be a better place, we want it to be a safer place. The vicious attacks on immigrant rights and trans rights by the Trump administration have affected folks in every single district that you all serve. We are here today to demand a sanctuary city resolution be passed. Declare JPS schools sanctuary locations. Commit staff, security, and admin to non-compliance with ICE. Protect the students in JPS schools from harassment and deportation. Prohibit immigration detention centers from being built. Prohibit police and city employees from questioning people about immigration status, and prohibit law enforcement from detaining people at the request of ICE. The city spends over half its budget on the police. Reallocating these funds from the budget is essential to protecting the immigrants in the communities that you all serve. I had the privilege of sitting in that back row at the last meeting of the year and watched a lot of you all congratulate each other on the job well done. We talked about how much you love serving your constituents. Well, we're all here to remind you you serve the constituents. The constituents here want this resolution to be passed. We demand a resolution be passed to declare Louisville a sanctuary city. We want you to craft the budget so that it shows that we stand with the immigrant community and not the police state.
My name is Elliot. I'm a resident of Metro Council District 22, a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and a proud transgender man. Growing up trans in Eastern Kentucky wasn't easy. I dealt with bullying, isolation, and dismissiveness from my classmates, educators, and members of my family. This forced me into the closet, closed all doors to medical treatment, and led to my long-term struggles with depression and suicidal ideation. I knew who I was and where I needed to be safe, fulfilled, and happy, but that care was kept from me. I am not speaking lightly when I say I am lucky to be here today. My story is not unique. According to the Travel Project, a nonprofit that runs a suicide hotline for LGBTQ people, 46% of trans people aged 13 to 24 have seriously considered suicide within the past year. These numbers are backed up by a 2022 study published by the NIH, who also found that trans youth who receive gender-affirming care are 60% less likely to experience serious depression symptoms. What I and other trans folks experience as kids is not inevitable. Trans kids who receive support from their caregivers, educators, doctors, and local legislatures are able to not just survive, but thrive. What I'm asking you, as Metro Council members, is to step up to protect these kids as you would any other kid. Because trans kids are still kids. Trans kids deserve to be safe, not cannon fodder for a culture war. They deserve to have the medical decisions made by them, their parents, and their doctors respected, not litigated by politicians who have never met them. They deserve to join extracurriculars and play sports without invasive and discriminatory policies interfering. They deserve to go to the bathroom where they feel comfortable without the fear of harassment or violence. Surely, you all believe these things are given for cisgender, that is to say, non-trans children. So why are these issues still up for debate for trans children? The brutal truth is that our state and federal politicians have decided trans kids' lives are worth less than cis kids. There is no way around it. That is what they are saying through progressive, harmful policies targeting an already vulnerable group. As a trans kid, I was put in the humiliating spot of begging for my existence and humanity to be respected. As an adult, I am not begging anymore. I am demanding that those who are supposed to represent me in government do their jobs and fight for all of their constituents. I am demanding not only because this is a moral imperative, but because I am in a position to demand. According to the Fairness Campaign, 71% of Kentuckians are against anti-trans legislation. This includes people from the reddest of red counties, and certainly includes the majority of the people who vote for your council seats. We are many, we are organizing, and we demand the safety of all kids in the Commonwealth. Specifically, we demand non-compliance from JCPS, U of L, and local Metro Council in response to hateful, overreaching, unconstitutional executive orders of the Trump administration. We demand you all do everything in your power to protect the rights of trans people in the city, and we demand your respect for our shared community. Thank you.
In March 2023, Senator Karen Berg stood before Kentucky lawmakers and gave a heart-wrenching testimony about her son Henry, a trans activist who died by suicide a few months before. She pleaded with lawmakers not to pass SB 150, the bill banning gender-affirming care for Kentucky youth. And yet, after hearing the pain of a parent's worst nightmare, 105 out of 138 of her colleagues still voted to pass that hateful legislation. I have not lost my child to suicide, but I have come terrifyingly close. And I live with that fear every single day of my life. One of the things that has helped us survive is gender-affirming care that we now have to leave the state to access due to SB 150. Leaving the state is a privilege many Kentuckians do not have. This is life-saving care. We just heard statistics about the percentage of people who have, trans people who have considered suicide and attempted it. But access to gender-affirming care dramatically reduces these risks. A study published by JAMA found that trans youth who receive gender-affirming care have a 60% lower odds of depression and 73% lower odds of suicidal thoughts or self-harm. This isn't just about health care, it is about survival. And the cruelty continues. Today, Kentucky lawmakers have overturned the ban on conversion therapy. They have stripped away Medicaid reimbursement for gender-affirming care, just to name a few attacks. Right now, trans families alongside other targeted peoples are living under constant attack from state-sponsored terror and repression. The goal is not just to limit access to care and services, it is an attempted erasure of people's humanity. We refuse to let this happen. Trans rights, like all other human rights, are working class issues. These attacks don't just hurt groups currently in the crosshairs. When lawmakers strip away rights, when they make life harder for any group, the working class suffers most. If you fail to stand against these attacks, you are failing the majority of your constituents. My kid has said that one of the most powerful things beating back despair is seeing their community fighting for their right to exist. You can be a part of this fight. by standing up to these hateful attacks and creating policy to protect your people. Because courage is contagious. So I ask you, speak out, show your face, stand up, be brave. Because if you leave some of us behind, you're leaving all of us behind. Thank you.
Colleagues and members of the galley, three great speakers have spoken about trans rights, and I stand with you on those issues. Recognize this so that our council rules are such that they only allow 3 speakers to speak on the same topic. So if there's anyone else who's going to be speaking on trans rights, unfortunately, under the rules, it will not be allowed to be permitted. So.
Separate but both important. Sir, mine is only on immigrant issues.
No, I'm just saying, moving forward, if there's anyone else speaking, we've had in the past where folks sign up under different topics, and so rules are rules, and so that's, not calling anyone out. At this point, we're gonna call the next speaker up.
Abigail Mochili.
Good evening, Metro Council members and my fellow Louisville residents. My name's Abby, and I'm here tonight as just another neighbor who cares deeply about this city and the people in it. Right now, I'm asking you to stand with our immigrant communities by making Louisville a sanctuary city. Because Louisville's stronger when everyone feels safe, respected, and included. Let's be real. Immigrants are not some other group. They're the folks who work beside us, whose kids go to school with ours, who own businesses we love, and who make this city what it is. They're part of us. And when they're living in fear, it hurts all of us. What I'm asking for is simple: an ordinance which stipulates that Louisville police and city employees won't act as ISIS chauffeurs into our community. That we will not use local resources to deport our neighbors, and that people's information stays private and kept safely away from ICE, DOJ, or any other agency that tries to dictate how we govern our community. This isn't about breaking laws, it's about protecting people. When immigrants are afraid to participate in society, call the police, report crimes, or go to the hospital, everyone's less safe. Sanctuary policies build trust. They make sure crimes get solved, that workers are treated fairly, and that families stay together safe in their own homes. Mass deportations don't make us safer. They just spread fear, hurt our economy, and rip apart the fabric of our communities. Louisville can do better. In closing, I urge you, the Metro Council, to adopt this ordinance as soon as possible. Let's be the city we know that we can be, and send the message loud and clear: in Louisville, we take care of our own, and that is all of our own. Thank you.
Shonda Lee.
I stand before you today, not just as a concerned citizen, but as a voice for accountability, a word that has soon have lost its meaning in this city when it comes to police and leadership. We have the facts in front of us. The OIG's findings made it clear the officers involved in the death of Omari Pryor were wrong. Yet, despite this, Chief Paul Humphrey stands in front of the news cameras and tells the public that he stands behind his officers. How? How do we claim change when the truth is always ignored? Accountability isn't about convenience. It isn't about protecting the image or maintaining control. It's about justice. And we can't and won't get justice until y'all show some accountability and hold yourselves accountable. How do we, and when I say we, I mean y'all, tell the community that transparency matters when leadership refuses to acknowledge their wrongdoing? How do we, and when I say we, I mean y'all, tell the families like Omari Carter that justice exists when leadership is willing to look past the facts? How does this city move forward when we continue the same cycles of excuses instead of accountability? Like, how do we do that? And let's not forget, the Department of Justice found the city, found this police department guilty of systematic failures leading to a consent decree. This was not speculation, this was a federal investigation that confirmed what the community has known for so many years. A lack of accountability at the highest level. So I asked Chief Humphrey and every official defending this, how many more investigations, reports, and grieving families does it have to take for you to stop protecting the misconduct that's been going around in the city for so many years? Like, I'm 45 years old, and I've been seeing it since I was a little girl, and I ain't seen out of liquor justice or accountability. In this compassionate city ever in my life. This is why we need the OIG, and more importantly, we need Ed Harness to stay in his role that he is highly qualified for. Removing Ed Harness will be a deliberate move to weaken oversight and accountability.
I would say is, I would say it's good. I love to be here right now, but it seems like every time I come here, we got to defend our community instead of uplifting it. I'm here to speak of the truth about Omari Carter case and the corruption of the leadership that followed. The year was 2022 in May. A scared Omari Carter ran for his life from a U.S. Marshal that resulted in the U.S. Marshals murdering him in the alley as he jumped over a fence. But the check 1-2 is, well, the check is the report from the Attorney General that confirmed the misconduct in the case within the LMPD. But our chief, Paul Humphrey, that I personally hope to see real change from, refused to acknowledge the report. How can we get real change if no one in law enforcement is willing to be held accountable? This is why the system itself is broken. Why Louisville is being portrayed in the entry of a federal consent decree by the Department of Justice, founding of a pattern of unconstitutional policing, excessive force, and a lack of accountability. I'm asking the chief and the rest of our community leaders, how good is a consent decree if no one is willing to follow it? How good is a reform if no one is going to acknowledge it? How many lawsuits are we going to pay out before we stop defending bad policing? Omari Carter should be heard right now. His family should not be fighting for answers. Our community, we should not have community leaders that's denying the facts, the reports, and the demands from the community that they swore to uphold and serve. And to the two Metro Council women that came to the bishop table and said they ain't radical like us. We not radical either. We revolutionaries. Please put some respect on it. Thank you.
Good evening.
I stand before you all as a citizen of this community, born and raised for 42+ years. I'm standing here today to tell you all why the Inspector General's office is important, why the consent decree is important. 5/20/22, Omari Pryor was shot and killed. June, I started asking questions. A year and a half, I reached out to the councilwoman whose district this took place in. Till this day, no return phone call. We should be asking questions when a man is gunned down in our districts. When a family reaches out, we should have questions being answered, reaching out saying, this is what I'm looking into, this is what I found out. We get to December of 2023. LAPD was found in violation of the Open Records Act because I found multiple requests looking into the case. They were found in violation. You get to January 23rd of this year. Chief Paul Humphrey gets on the news and gives a response to the findings, and he does it egregiously, he does it very distastefully, he does it disrespectfully, and he also became not just the chief, the judge, the jury, and the prosecutor. Omari Pryor never stood before a judge. It was a warrant for alleged charges. Had he been before a judge and a jury and found guilty, then he should do his sentence, serve his time, get anger management, but that day never came. Instead, we got on the news and said, had he not done it. And so I want you all to think about something. When you heard Chief Humphrey on the news, he said he would make the entire case public record. I haven't. How many of you all in this room took the time to get the record to see what really was said in those findings? I'll tell you right now that if anyone had took the time to do that, everybody should be in an uproar, because the truth of the matter is, when Michael Marcel fired those 2 deadly shots to shoot and kill Omari Pryor was unarmed. Chief Paul Humphrey also stated that Omari was running with the gun in his right hand. Well, everybody saw the video when it came out, because it became worldwide news, because we were trying to avoid another Breonna Taylor situation. Omari Pryor was not running with the gun in his right hand. The gun was in his left hand, and when he jumped the fence, he tossed it when they said drop the gun. But yet we have Omari Pryor, who is dead and gone, whose children are being labeled in Jefferson County public school systems as ADHD. They don't have ADHD, they have PTSD, because the people we taught them as a family to trust, to protect, and serve them are the same people that took their father's life. So what I challenge you all in this room today with is, number one, we need to make sure that when we're partnering with agencies, we understand what the training looks like. LMPD is not trained like U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals are trained to shoot to kill, a 3-shot kill. Well, Omari died in 2. We also need to make sure that when we're pursuing warrants, they had a warrant, they said, right? Why did they not knock on the door? I'm sorry, when he was shot and killed in Louisville's West End, where half of the murders take place, if I am on a porch and officers come with guns drawn, do you think I'm looking to see the writing on the shirt, or looking at a barrel of a gun? I'm looking at a barrel of a gun and I'm gonna run.
I stand here today as a citizen of this community with several concerns about gun violence that is completely out of control in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm angered at the fact that we have a set standard in our community due to a lack of accountability. When law enforcement fails to hold their accountability and in fact sets a standard to others in this community, and the murder rate continues to go up. As a grieving aunt of Omari Pryor, I refuse to sit back and be silent. We want a better community, we want trust. Then we must have law enforcement and agencies partnerships that not only hold themselves accountable, but have integrity. The gun violence in this community will not end until we lead by example and change in policies. I am asking each you to be diligent in seeking change in the law that we're supposed to protect, but if it's the law that's killing us. Those things never apply. How many more Omari Pryors and Breonna Taylors do we have to have before we do something different? They set a standard. When they kill us, and enough is enough. You guys really need to hold people accountable, please.
Zenasia Whaley. Zenasia Whaley. Stephen Comstock.
Ladies and gentlemen of the City Council, good evening. My name is Stephen Comstock, and I am a member of District 14. I am here tonight to speak about public safety and ask for your help on this matter. As you may all have seen on the various news outlets, our house has been struck again by a vehicle for the 4th time. This marks 4 times in a span of 25 years. The intersection is the topic of this safety discussion is West Pages Lane and Devonshire Drive. This is a residential neighborhood and it is treated like a main thoroughfare. 3 of the 4 houses at this intersection have been struck 7 times over the past 25-year period. The speed limits on the streets on which I reside are 35 miles an hour on West Pages and 25 miles an hour on Devonshire. I'm here tonight on behalf of the neighborhood and the community to plead for help and assistance with this matter. We have seen multiple fatalities and even more injuries, with the last one being thankfully only a broken wrist. This is an issue that I have had to live with for many years. We are looking at a total of just under $100,000 in repairs over the years. The first time was around $7,000. The second time was around $23,000. The third time around $25,000. And we're still receiving estimates. This time, they're talking close to $35,000. We had previously reached out to the former councilwoman, Cindy Fowler. The councilwoman, I believe, wasted taxpayer dollars implementing small changes that had no impact on safety to the area. I will not go into more detail than that with my interactions with her. I have met with Councilwoman Bass and have had a lot of faith that we can create a safer community for the families and neighbors in the area. I do have pictures of the damages to our property from the last 3 accidents. One in 2011 was a fatality. The one in 2016 was, I believe, a 4-entry accident where a mother had 3 children in the car when it hit our house at 45 to 50 miles an hour, sent all of them to the hospital. This one, just a broken wrist when they hit the wall. I'll be happy to share all of those with you via email if you would like. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I've spoken with my 2 neighbors about this and that have been impacted with the vehicles hitting their house, and we are all asking for help. We are asking for help to make our roads safer, especially our intersection. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss this with you all tonight.
Thank you. Mr. President, that concludes the
Next, we have approval of the council minutes for the regular meeting of March 13th, 2025. Are we correct?
Hey, I know you're watching the live stream right now, but I want to take a moment to tell you to check out this new book right here over my shoulder. Believe me, it'll be worth it.
If you do nothing else.
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 If you do nothing else.